Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler. Today we're going to talk about multimedia or things that we use in our school that use TVs, computers, things like that. Multimedia in homeschooling can be a little challenging depending on your beliefs about them, how much you want to use them, things like that. Now, you guys have seen a lot of videos on the curriculum that we use that has computers. We use things like teaching textbooks, sometimes we use Compass Classroom. So we have things that use the computer, and sometimes we even have things that are like split. IEW is a good one that's kind of split because we have the videos that are streaming that are on the computer or the laptop, but yet we have the workbook or the writing portion of those that are going to be away from the computer. And actually, if you really think about it and you really tally up the time, they're only spending about an hour on the computer for the entire week for that class, and the rest of the class is spent at their desk writing, researching, that type of thing. So it's really hard, I think, to even consider IEW like a computer class. You know what I mean? But I'm not really going to focus too much on the curriculum because you guys see a lot of my curriculum videos and you're pretty familiar, I think, by now with how much we use a computer and how much we don't. What I want to focus on is the extras. What about the extra stuff? And I think that's where it gets a lot of fun because you can really tailor this to your interests and to your likes and what works for your family. So one of the first things I want to talk about is one we have been using for years, like since it came out. And that is the Answers in Genesis app. Now, we pay a subscription for this. I believe it's like $5 or $10 a month. It's one of the lowest subscriptions that we pay for. And this app focuses heavily on science and apologetics. And having boys, this is a really great one to have, especially having a boy who loves science. And actually, his two favorite shows are on that network. We absolutely love Answers in Genesis. Now, if you're not familiar with Answers in Genesis is the corporation that has the Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter over in Kentucky. We've been there once already. I'm hoping that we can go again, maybe this year or next year. I don't know. If the Lord makes it work, He makes it work. But I am really hoping we can go back because they have added so much since we have been. We went during our first year of homeschooling and it was an absolute blast. I will always remember that trip. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. And they have a lot of great shows on this app, and sometimes we watch them for entertainment and sometimes we watch them for school. They have all kinds of videos that kind of relate to different things that the kids might be learning within their curriculum, so it works out really well. The next one I want to talk about is current events. And we don't have cable, so we don't have like a cable news network or anything like that. And honestly, we probably wouldn't watch it even if we did. It can be really difficult to find Christian news. And for us, it's really important that our news comes from Christian worldviews. And, you know, we listen to things like the Generations radio because they have, like the 5-minute world recap. But sometimes we look for a little bit more, like something that our kids can get involved in and that our kids can watch. And that's where World Watch comes in. We have been reading World Magazine for, goodness, years. I don't even know how long. We have been getting World Magazine for a long time. My oldest loves to read World Magazine. So one of the things that we also like to do is get the World Watch News app. So World Watch News is Christian news and it is on an app and you get to watch it. It's video, all of those types of things. And it is made from a Christian perspective, a Christian worldview, but it's very professionally done. And it's great for the entire family. So my husband and I watch it, our kids watch it together with us. But the great thing about it is it's never over 5 or 10 minutes long. So we can add it to our day as like a current events type of thing, but it's not like a 30-minute segment. I'm not going to lose their interest, that type of thing. We can watch it for 5 or 10 minutes and move on with our day. And we're not being bombarded all day long with news headlines and things like that. Now, there are some news sites that we use, but World Watch is one of our favorite go-tos for our older kids. So if you want to try that out, they actually have a 4-month trial just for my viewers, and I'm gonna put the link down below. We've been using them for years. The content is safe. I don't have any problems with anything on that app. It's one of our favorites. So if you wanna try it, go check that out. I'm gonna pop the link down below in my description box. It's a great one for world events. They have all kinds of really cool videos too on that app. Go check it out. And then they have like a whole library of their past episodes, so you're not just watching one episode for 5 or 10 minutes. You can actually go back and see previous days' news for quite a while. Like my kids sometimes just scroll through and just watch like news segments that they find cool on the app. And a huge shout out and thank you to World Watch for offering this to my viewers for free for an entire 4 months. That is an incredible deal, and I appreciate that. So the next one I want to talk about is Canon Plus. This one is where I get the majority of my audiobooks, plus a lot of shows that my entire family really likes. And they've added new kid content. They even have like cartoons and things on there too. They are always adding a ton of stuff on that app. So the Canon Plus app, I believe it's $11.99 a month. Totally worth it. I get so many Christian books on the Canon Plus app. I have so many books that I have already read. I just finished one this week by Rachel Jankovich, and I loved that book. It was so good. It was so edifying. It's called Yoo-Hoo. I'll put it in my next reading roundup for the month video. So good. And I never would have had access to all these books had I not had the app. I don't always like to spend all the money on all the books because it gets very expensive. So subscriptions like this save me tons and tons and tons of money and space in my house from all of the books. So I get to listen to books, and a lot of times because it's filled with Christian books and classic books, there's tons of classic books on this app. I actually get to pre-listen to the books before my kids do them in their curriculum. It has come in so handy that way. And I listen to books I never would have picked up and read otherwise, like Pride and Prejudice. I probably never would have picked up an Austen book had it not been on this app, and now I'm an Austen fan. So I never would have had that experience had I not had this app. Plus there's tons of sermons, Christian content, podcasts. My favorite podcast is on there. It's called Stories Are Soul Food. And they talk about books. They talk about books from a Christian perspective. They have a Christian author on there, and it is fantastic. I love that podcast. My husband watches the podcast on there every day. My kids listen to them every day. That one is well worth the money and in the investment that we have made in that. There's debates on there, there's television shows, there's cartoons, there's movies and documentaries, tons of stuff. They always add new material every single week, and there's so much material I could never go and actually watch all of it. So again, I don't work for them. I'm not affiliated with them. I just love and use them. Lots of good stuff on there, and lots of good stuff for boys and men on there, I will say too. A lot of good stuff, and a lot of very edifying stuff for the women on there. So that's a good one. Really like that. Okay, kind of a short and sweet video today, but I figured I would get this one up because there's a great deal on here, and I know I get a lot of questions about the apps that we use, and because a lot of times Christians are leery about using new things. So this is just what we use and we like and we enjoy. It follows our values and our worldview. So I thought I would give you this video just to give you some advice on that and just to kind of show you what we use. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy homeschooling.